ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. You know, this is a show where artists talk about art. And our next guest, I don't know, he's a multi-hyphenate. He's an actor. He's a singer. He has music videos that win awards. He sings, yo, and he has fancy singing friends that put out his albums are out. His new single is out. The video is out. He went to an Ivy. Did you really go to an Ivy League school, Rob? Man, he's showing us up out here on this show. Rob Morat is here. Welcome to the Round Table.
Rob, how are you, buddy? Thank you so much for having me.
Firstly, anyone named Rob or Robert are my people.
It's the Robert team.
It's the Rob, and we're both East Coast. I'm from Jersey. And
oh wow, what part?
Fort Lee, New Jersey, right by the Georgia Washington. I say I'm a fake New Yorker.
Okay, it still counts.
You're a real New Yorker.
I am. Yeah.
So do you always go by Rob, or do you have people in your life that call you Robert, or have you ever been Bob or Bobby?
Only when I'm in trouble. Robert, it comes when I'm in trouble. When I hear Robert, I'm like,
but it's Rob.
Yes, Rob. Yep, Rob Morat. Yep.
It's funny because if my father says Bobby, I hear it. It clicks to me. But if you called me that, I wouldn't know who you're talking to. But I went in kindergarten. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, to tell the honest truth, my family is from Haiti, so sometimes it's Robert. So I'll hear Robert sometimes. Yeah.
I love that, and I love our name. And yeah. I remember going into kindergarten and my kindergarten teacher saying, like, how do you want to be called? And I said, I'm Robert. And it's been Robert.
I love it. I love that.
So shout out to the Robs out here in the world.
Yes, indeed.
So for you growing up, so you have Haitian lineage.
Background, originally from New York, yeah.
And you're from Queens, New York?
Queens, yeah. Oh, right. Research, due diligence.
I try to do a little something. So you're growing up in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
And then when did music and acting, how do you define what you are? Are you an artist, period? You're an actor who sings, you're a singer who acts? Like, what do you consider yourself?
To call me a recording artist would be a thin slice. To call me an actor would be a thin slice. So it's a kind of an amalgam of both, an audio visual artist. I'm an entertainer.
You're an entertainer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
Perfect.
Yes.
And when did the bug hit you, and what kind of inspired that?
Great question. My grandfather is an internationally known jazz musician. He's long passed away, but in Haiti, he was the one. He was the guy. Like, they had a band out there that was as popular as the Beatles in the country, of course. So that's where I kind of got the bug. And he played the trumpet, so I played the trumpet first, the piano, then singing, and then took acting lessons, and just kind of kept growing in that world. Yeah.
And then, so it's really in the genes. It is in the genes. It is family.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So was there a moment where you had to make a decision? I teased about you going to an Ivy League school, but I believe you did.
Yes, I did. Indeed.
And did you go for performance or did you go for something else?
That's a great question. Another story is that when, in high school, when you have to tell your parents what you want to do or what you want to study, I walked into my parents' room. I was like, they're like, what do you want to do for college? What do you want to study? I said, music and entertainment. Dead silence. And then they giggled. They said, all right, what do you really want to study? So I was like, all right. Well, I was a math nerd too. So I said engineering. So I went to school for engineering but I minored in music. And, when your passion grabs a hold of you, there's no escaping it. So school was just a detour. And I was lucky enough to have great connections to help me grow through the entertainment industry, because it just so happens that at Penn had so many folks that went into the entertainment industry. Yeah.
See, that's what I was going to say to you is I was a baby. My parents were not in entertainment at all. And when I wanted to go to acting school and I wanted to sing and I started to go to conservatory, they didn't know what they were talking about, but they knew they were spending money and they were like, oh God, I hope he gets a job. That's what I said to you. Like, if you get into an Ivy League school, is there a part of them that are like, oh no, you're not going to take these loans and pay these tuition to be an entertainer? There's a fear. Were you ever afraid, or this was it?
No, because they always did support my talent. So they put me in conservatory for piano. They put me, like before I went into college, they put me in all those training programs. And when I left college, I went straight into acting lessons with Stella Adler and all that. So I always fortified and kind of worked my way around, made sure I was trained enough to merit or warrant being with the best, yeah, or around the best.
And truly, so
Yeah.
then what hit off first? When did was it
Music
acting that
for sure.
music?
Music for sure. Yeah. And so toured. Um, a good secret of mine, a good friend of mine, John Stevens to me, John Legend to the world. We went to school together, and we kind of emerged into the industry somewhat together. He helped me out on my first project, and we worked together. We're collaborators early in our careers, and that's where I kind of found my footing. You know, he was further along. He grew up in the church and always singing. I still had to find my voice and how to emote myself musically and vocally. And when I found my way, he was there as a mentor, a peer mentor, and he still is till this day. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is if you know anything about, well, you obviously know because you were
Yeah.
there, but everyone listening that knows his story, like the conversations about like putting in the chops of playing clubs and sitting at the piano and playing it,
Yeah.
you guys hustle. Like it was
Yes.
get the music.
All over New York, all over the Northeast, and then going across to LA. And it was a lot, but that's how you kind of, and that was as social media was finding its way. So you really had to kind of touch the people, and they had to see you on stage, and they had to hear you. So that was the goal.
So you have new music out, and
I
before we
do.
get too far into this, I want people to make sure that we are streaming. All I can say,
Yeah.
it's a we are Telly winner for songwriting. So can you tell us a little bit about what the song is?
Well, it's a journey, and it's a story about a journey of two folks who have made it through the rain. We go through hardships in life, especially in relationships, and this is the story of how you make it on the other side and how it feels to make it through some hardships. Some relationships don't always make it. But this one did, and we're celebrating that kind of the victory of making it through the hard times and staying together.
The song and the video, you being a award-winning music video person, a lot of people nowadays, the music videos, when I grew up, that was all the rage. We
Yeah.
TRL'd and MTV'd it up. Why is the video such an important piece to you as an artist?
Two answers to that question. One, it helps to tell the story. Not only do you hear it and your audio senses are capturing it, but now you kind of get the idea of where we're coming from with the story, and you get to tell it visually. And with, being a multi-hyphenate, that's where you kind of flex your skill set, your craft, show your work. Not only did I produce it, write it, edit it, all that nonsense, but it also shows every side of my skills. Where I'm out here fighting for roles, why not just create your own? So yeah.
That's what amazes me, is that you make your
Yeah.
own yes, and you become your own yes as an artist.
Yep.
So when you get music and you put music out, they
Yeah.
obviously ideas for people to listen to it. Who is this song in particular for? All I can say, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful old school love song. We don't make love songs like we used to make love songs, where you can
No.
really curl up to the person you care about and
Yeah.
put this on for a romantic date night moment.
Yeah.
What's your process to get a song like this together?
I collaborated with an amazing artist from the DMV down in the DC area. Her name is Maya Elizabeth. We crossed paths at some Recording Academy event recently, like a year or two ago, and I heard one of her songs. I was like, wow, I want to work with her. And I'm the kind of guy that just kind of makes the mental note and acts on it. So when I was kind of creating this song, I was like, ding, ding, ding. I reached out to her. I was like, hey, what do you think about telling your story? That at first we were like, they don't make it. And then like, no, let's make it a love song where they do make it. And she kind of worked with me, and we kind of told the narrative together, and we made it beautiful. The objective was to make it beautiful. And my banner is long live feel good music. So I said, it's got to feel good. Yeah.
So what do you do in terms of your writing style or your approach to recording? Like what is it like? Do you have like a notebook? Do you sing into your phone? Do you wake up with a melody in your head? Like what gets you to come together with a full piece, like All I Can Say, which is streaming right now, everybody?
All of the above. For this one, I do have my phone with me, and I'm always singing some gibberish, always kind of dropping notes on my voice notes until it kind of makes sense, and then I'll maybe type it out. Or if it's in the flow, I'll record it on the spot. So this one was a bunch of voice notes sending back and forth between myself and Maya.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It is so amazing. And you've been putting out singles, but you have full albums out. I mean, this this,
Yes.
Good Day, Good People, and all of
Yes.
this. So you have what, 2 full albums out, maybe?
2 full albums. This is the most recent, Good Day, Good People. That one was a feat, and I was so happy that I was able to pull a village together. We mentioned John Legend. He's a collaborator on there. Grammy Award-winning poet Jay Ivy's on there. I went all the way to Ghana and got one of their superstars, Shatta Wale. You've heard him on Beyonce's project. So I was able to pull a lot of favors and kind of pull folks together and put together that nice piece of work that I'm really proud of. And, we're working on the next one, maybe next year.
I'm gonna say is all I can say. It could be a piece of an entire
The
new
next
album.
project, maybe. I don't know how some folks do it. They just whip out albums every year. I don't know how to do that. So I take my time and live a little and then write, live a little and then write.
And have
And at some
inspiration
point,
to
I'll pull
write.
the roll and get back
And
on the-
money to write and to put out an album. People don't understand. Like, it is not
right.
it is a body of, and you give your music away really for free, Rob. I mean, it's not like anyone out here is going to live on a deserted island for their
Right.
streaming. So you give
Right.
it away for the people.
Well,
Everyone,
not necessarily. I think one of our goals, and what I've been fortunate enough to do, is place it on TV and film, and that's the hook. When people are streaming for free, you're also hearing it on a TV show or a film, and it's setting the tone, and they pay for that. So we do focus on that, and that's one of my primary objectives, as opposed to touring the world like some of my friends do. I'm touring your TV shows and your films and all that.
so what was it to break into that kind of industry? I know it's a very small, tight-knit little world in there.
Yeah, it's tight knit. I believe there was more tight knit than it was. I think it's more about relationship building and knowing music supervisors and knowing producers and knowing folks who are creating the product. And being an actor, it introduces you to a whole other world as well. So being on shows in front of the camera, you kind of get the opportunities to also maybe introduce your work as a musician behind the camera. And it doesn't always work, but that's my ultimate goal, to be in front of the camera and behind the camera, musically and visually.
Well, while we're talking, you can get more information. Go to robmurat.com for more information. You can also follow Rob on Instagram. I do. I just, right before we started, it's Rob Murat Official on Instagram. The links are below. And then the music is streaming wherever music is heard. So if you're on Amazon, Spotify, Apple, and the videos are all up on YouTube, etc. You got to check out all his music videos. They're beautiful. They're pieces of art, truly. So
I didn't pay him to do that, by the way.
But I will. Because it's the truth. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. They're
True,
beautiful. The songs are beautiful.
Thank
The
you.
videos that go with it are beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you're such an audiovisual kind of artist, because it's such a lost.
But you can relate. You can relate.
I do. I love my
Yeah.
music video, and I've done music videos. And what's fun about a music video is you get to tell the story. Because I know when you wrote this song, you had a story in mind. You have someone you think about. You have a situation that made you be inspired, and then you get to tell it in a mini movie. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And for some songs, you want to stay away from that because you want the folks to kind of paint their own picture and let it exist in their minds. But sometimes it's okay to kind of give your view of it and your kind of perspective.
Well, what is your team about this music video in particular? Where do you shoot it? And are you someone who wants a big production? Or are you a guerrilla, like, let's get in these streets and make a music video? Like, what is your approach to the visuals?
Great question. So sometimes the visuals call for guerrilla style and you want it raw and you can pull it off for low cost. And sometimes it takes, this song in particular, we had to take some studio time, and I also had an animator involved. I don't know if you watched all the way through, but the surprise in there is beautiful animation by Giancarlo in Brazil. He's one of my go-to animators. I've used him on multiple projects, and we found a nice curveball halfway through the video to immerse ourselves into an animated world, which was the vision all along. And I thought that really, really did the trick. So that's not low budget, but it is sort of guerrilla style. It's kind of multi-medium, right? So we're live in front of you singing the song. There's a narrative, a loose narrative, and then we immerse ourselves into the animated world, which is a world of its
So my
own.
question for you as an actor, and that adds this. So when you step on your music video set, you have multiple hats. Everyone that does music videos has multiple hats on, but you have this is your baby. Like, you're not being hired to be in a TV show or a sitcom. This is your project.
No.
So how do you put these two pieces together? I'm the artist. This is my song. I'm the actor. and this is my set as well. Like,
Yeah.
how do you manage it all together?
I have yet to shoot the film medium that way, but I've done a few music videos that way. And I'd imagine it's the same way. Once action is called, you are the actor. Everyone knows what's going on. The directing happens right before in the pre-planning or the storyboarding, right? But once there's action called, I'm locked in. I'm your love interest. I'm that guy singing the song or whatever it is. And once we yell cut, I have my DP yell cut, or we like, like you leave a little space and cut. Right, but it's a juggling act. But you do it enough times, it's second nature, and I can't wait to do it like the heavyweights do it, the Clint Eastwoods and the Denzels, and I don't know how they pull off big movies like that, be in front of the camera and behind the camera.
How did acting come to you, and then what's it been like to be on a whole bunch of TV credits and have a whole bunch of work under your belt? What have you learned in that journey aside from music?
Sure. Well, there came a point when I was touring that I was like, I have this other skill set that I've been training during touring all over New York. And when John was doing it, I was doing it. I was also training. I told you I was in the Stella Adler world, and I was building my chops there, but never activating them. And there came a point where I was like, wait a second, am I not going to use this? So I decided to not pivot, but introduce it into my ecosystem. And for some reason, it started going faster than the music. I did a few auditions. One was absolutely terrible. I mean, let me tell you, Robert. I mean, it was hot garbage. I was like, maybe I should do something else with my life.
I don't believe it.
The kind of audition you're like, why am I doing this again? But the week later, I had another one, knocked it out the park, and I was toe to toe with Academy Award winner Halle Berry on a CBS show. Just me and her. I was like, wait a second. So it's proof that if you continue, there's proof that continuing and sticking to it, there's something behind that. I didn't say that eloquently, but you get what I'm saying.
But you did.
Yeah.
You did. I think it's always true that there is a journey. I remember my first TV audition, they asked me to slate, and I thought slate meant I went like this, action. Now, see, I should have packed it in. I should have packed it in right then and there. And they looked at me like,
wait a second.
And now I get to laugh. But in that moment, I was mortified when I asked my friend, and they were like, you say your name? Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I just went action. Well, see, I think that's the stuff that builds us,
That's all part of the process. That's part of the journey. Look, it's making me laugh. It's a funny story. It's something you can look back at and say, I don't do that anymore.
I don't do that anymore.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
For you, if someone comes along and wants to collaborate with you on music, you're in. If someone wants to come along and put you on a TV show, you're in. But what is the next goal for you, Rob? What are the goals for this coming, next artistic season of your life?
So I'm working on a new project now, a new song, and we'll be putting that out in the summer. And that it's more involved. The visuals will be more involved. So we're in the pre-stages now for that. And that's a bigger budget one. It involves a lot of trickery. So that's what I'm focused on. And, waiting for this industry to kind of really reemerge after these strikes, because it's been difficult to hop back on set and be back on scene. So we'll see how that manifests, but I'm sure we'll find our way back to another role in the very near future.
Have you heard, I hear that from all my LA friends and all my people that are really on the grind as an actor, that since the strikes and since it's been the production,
there's been a retraction. Yeah. And that's okay. It's challenges have never, been an issue. So it was challenging before. It's more challenging now, but what is meant for you has no choice but to be yours. So you got to continue. Yeah.
Well, if it's the television work that you've done, if it's, if it's On My Block, if it's Bones, if it's, all the things that you have gotten a chance to be a part of, and then the music, I know that if there's something artistic out here, Rob's going to make it happen, y'all. You got to watch the music video. Watch the music video for when those colors start falling down, and all of a sudden,
look at you! You watched it.
I watched. I really did. When the colors start falling, that's why I knew I wasn't trying to spill the tea about what happens in your video. But if you're going to spill the tea, then and then they're animated, and then they're back as real people. It's a piece of work.
Thank you, sir. Thank
It's a
you.
piece of work.
Thank you. Thank you.
The song is out. All I can say, you can stream it. You can watch the video over there on YouTube. I've got a bunch of people I've already watched and commented about it. Make sure you say hey and subscribe and comment to the YouTube page, because he's got more music coming out. If you want the old stuff, the albums are out. This album, the original album, all the albums are out. All the info is out. Go to his website and follow and find out more information. And of course, if you want to stay up on the daily business of it all, you got to go over the social media. You got to go to Rob Morat Official, so you can stay up to date when the new album comes out and when the new song comes out. You're gonna have to come on back and talk about it.
I'll come knocking at the door. You gotta let me in.
You got a key. Come on in, Rob. All the Robs are welcome here anytime.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we'll slate together.
Action. Next time I'm going to say Rob is here and action. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to own it. There's a good monologue in there.
Yeah.
There's a good...
There's a story. It's a story. Yeah,
there's
story to be told.
Well, I'm looking forward to your next stories and next adventures. And
Robert, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I love what you do. Thank you.
Please keep doing what you do, because we need all of it. We need the music. We need the visuals. We need the art. We need the art more than ever.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you for being here.
All right now.